Hello everybody, it's me again with another update for MinMaxer's Dream. This project is my personal damage calculator that I'm developing for Warframe. And let's get into it, shall we? So I've developed a whole bunch of new stuff. A lot of them actually, that's why it took 2 months for this update video. So first thing you see is right here, Progenitor Bonus. We have Toxin, Impact, Heat, Cold, Electricity, etc, etc. And we have this input field with default 25. If you input 0, it's not going to let you. Input 65, it's not going to let you. Okay, so we have a Kuvaton core, but whatever we choose, Tenet Tetra. Tenet Tetra still has it. Yes, that's correct. Ambassador, nope, no bonuses for you. So if we go back to Toncore, there we go. Okay. Next up, we're going to the big boy. This is the one that took me a whole lot of time to develop. Way too much time if you ask me. The AOE test type in my previous project, that had some serious flaws in terms of AOE. Because my AOE test, as shown on screen now, had a maximum radius required of 6 meters, which is also the minimum. So in a sense, it didn't matter how much AOE radius you had, as long as you had just 6. And if you had less than 6, it would become impossible to test because, well, it wouldn't hit all the targets. So that was a massive problem. I put a lot of thought into it, and after many attempts, I came up with the current iteration. So let me give you a repeat count is fine. I'll just give a test level of like what, 20 or something. Okay. It was way too fast. Let's put that back to 1. Disable damage display for this one. Are you noticing something? Are you noticing something? This white is the target. This white ball is the target. And if I go back and enable damage display, you can see that at time 0.32, 1 dead, 2 dead, 3 dead, 4 dead, so on and so forth. And if I increase the level, you can actually see how many it hits. Much easier. So at time point 33, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 enemies. It hit 6 enemies in one shot. And it's going to continue hitting 6 enemies every shot until it has to move. So if I go back and reduce the level again to maybe like 50, you'll notice, oh, did you see that? These two guys died and now the target moved. One of the main flaws in my old system was that the target didn't move. It was stationary. So there was no way to reach enemies that were just outside of the radius. But this new system has a minimum requirement of only 2 meters. And I think the maximum is like, how much was it? For 8, maximum is like over 16 meters, probably 17 something. So there is no way to get a AOE weapon in Warframe which has 17 meters of AOE radius. That's just not a thing. But yeah, so if you hypothetically had one, this test would still be capable of evaluating it just fine. So it will no longer be the case where a very tiny AOE weapon with just 6 meters beats an AOE weapon which has something like 12 meters or 13 meters. I don't even know if that's a thing, but you get the idea. Your radius is much more relevant now. Okay, going back to modding panel. Okay, what did I add here? Yep, I added a tag-based mod library. So this is a rifle, but it's also a launcher and a primary weapon. So these are all the rifle mods. I haven't added any launcher or primary mods. I've just added these placeholders. They don't do anything right now. But you get the idea. We now have the capability of having mods that are shared across all primary weapons without me having to manually enter them for every category. And to give you another example, let's have a look at Daiku. We go all the way there. Daiku is also technically a rifle, but it's also a bow. And it's specifically a bow, not just a general bow. We have bow general mods, and then we have bow only mods and primary mods. So you might be thinking, is there a bow that's not a specific bow and is like a general bow? Yes, there is. That would be Juge, for example. Basically crossbows. Crossbows are bows, but they're not specific bows. They don't get bow specific mods, but they do get bow general mods. There is a distinction between those two. I didn't know it existed until I looked it up, but you get the idea. It does exist. So what else? And physical mods, yes. Okay, let's go press next, and where is it? Okay, here. Impact 5, puncture 75/20. So if I go here, impact was 5, correct? And now it's 9.5. Well, what is that? You want more? All right. Now it's 15.5. These mods like impact, slash, and so on, like slash, how much was the slash value? 20. So if I add this, the slash value is now 44. If I want even more, I'll add another one. Now it's 62. You get the idea. These things were something that I explicitly did not include in my previous damage calculator, and some people were like, why not? Let me test. Maybe they're actually useful. My thinking was they're literally useless. There's like 0 cases where these things are actually useful. But I couldn't prove it because I didn't implement them. So now we will know if these things will ever have a use case or not. Is there a weapon that makes significant use cases of these at average levels, like say level 100 or level 150 maybe? Well, we'll find out. I don't know. I honestly don't know. There is no way to know unless you test it. All right, next up. Then we go blast radius mods, and they're right here. Blast radius, prime blast radius. You might be wondering why I didn't put these inside of the launcher category. Well, it's because they're not in the launcher category. They are literally a rifle mod. You can put this on any rifle, if I'm not mistaken, but they don't do anything. So that's what I did for this case as well. I just replicated what they did. So I have them inside of the rifle category. So if I go to Tankor, okay, there we go. Radiation 60 is just fine in this case. All right, so let's go back to AOE. It doesn't matter in this instance. Anyway, so we're gonna back there. So fall off end is the radius, which is 7. So if we go back, we had a prime blast radius. There's it. It's 10.08 now. And you can see it hits more enemies as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 9. There we go. It hits 9 targets instead of 6. It's a very significant stat that a lot of people do not seem to recognize. All right, so next up, active console, full stat print. Okay, you probably noticed this already, but these stats, while they did exist in previous generation, the previous version, they weren't as comprehensive. Basically, what I did is I changed the script so it goes through all existing stats inside of the fire mode in a specific order, and basically just prints them for you if they're not 0. For example, you can see that headshot multiplier is 1, so it's not 0, so it does include it. Did I remember to tell you guys I implemented snipers? Yeah, I totally forgot to tell you guys I implemented all snipers. So this is Snipetron, and this is Latron. No, not Latron, Lanka. Lanka. Look at this. This is my favorite screen thus far. Look how many fire modes this thing has. So we don't need all that, we just need this one. And okay. There we go. All right, there it is. You see this? Combo is 1 and multiplier is 1.5. If you let it play, combo is 7, combo is 10. And do notice that they do carry over between targets. But we did have a reload here. That's why it's from 18 to 16 there. But they do not carry over between tests. So if I was to make it a custom test, put them like 2 enemies in there and the repeat count of 2, level of like 20. So 14, 15, 16, 18, and shoot again, come on. There it is. 1. So it doesn't carry over between tests, which is intentional, obviously. So we have combo. You get the idea. We have combo, we have combo multipliers, all that jazz. And we have all the snipers as well. So whatever you want, your Rubicos and your Vectises and your, what do we have? Volcars and Volcar Wraiths. We have all of them. And oh yeah, one thing that I want to talk about is innate mods. Snipers have innate mods. So if I go back to our beloved Lanka, so partially charged shot and partial 3x zoom. Look at the crit chance of Lanka partial 3x zoom, it's 0.24. Look at the crit chance of partial charged shots, it's 0.2. Okay, notice the difference. So if I add a crit chance mod, that's going to increase our 0.2 to 0.5. But our other crit chance is only 0.54, which what that means is that extra 4% crit chance is not built into the weapon. It's just an extra mod. It's an innate mod. So yeah, we have a bunch of extra mod slots after the 8th one, which one is for Kuva weapons and one is for innate mods. Alrighty. A lot of snipers have innate mods. Alright, so what do we have? What do we have? What do we have? Innate mods, snipers, yep, sniper combo. I talked about that, full stat print, yeah. And yep, that's all we had, I believe. Oh yeah, one more thing. I did add a thingy for Hunter Munitions. So Crit Slash is my nickname for Hunter Munitions in this context. So yeah, that's all I had to talk about. Apologies for it being so long. I'm probably going to cut a lot of stuff out. If you're hearing this section, that means I'm going to be streaming a short time after this video is uploaded. It might take a day or two afterwards because I'm usually quite tired after a project is done. But look forward to that stream. By the time this video is live, it will probably be in the channel as a scheduled stream. So join me on that and ask me any questions you have, any concerns, any features you might want, etc., etc. We're going to be talking about some interesting stuff. So see you there and bye-bye.